What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. You can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. Messed up and out of touch, let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think, well, I lie awake and contemplate at night. Wearing me out.
Good evening. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm real quick finishing up. I was checking on my my one e-cig, my one pod that I use at night, making sure it had plenty of juice in it. I tape, I've said this before, but I taped the pod in there because one of the electrical pins doesn't have the keeper still there to keep it down into place. And so I know which one it is because I've got this little habit of fidgeting with them and pulling the pod up a little bit and snapping it back in. I can't do that with this one because I chance popping that pin out of there. And, boy, I'd hate to lose that thing. I'd find something that I could put in there. But, in fact, I think a finish nail, if I cut a piece of finish nail off short enough, I think it'd fit just fine in there. But, nonetheless, I was putting my electrical tape back on there. So, that helps me not pull the pod out. And, at night, in bed, I can feel that, hey, this one's got electrical tape. I know that's my green apple. And then my other one that's still charging is the one I put the little Velcro dot on to hold the USB cap on. And so that one's real super easy to know that. And that one's currently got worms, sugar or sour gummy worms. That's what's in that. So, anywho, I know that was just really important information that you were all just couldn't stand not knowing. It's a joke. Before I take off running, I want to bring something up, and it's something that's been on my mind quite heavily lately. And, really, I just got a huge huff, so, anyway, and a snarl, a little bit of a snarl followed by a huff. So anyway, I was watching Bear Independence live stream this morning, and he had brought something up, and I didn't comment in the chat. For one, he's probably got me blocked, and that's all good. Weak people are weak people. But I was listening, and he mentioned having dreams, and the particular type of dreams. And I just want to jump in and say that I know the feeling. Now, he had a lot of people in his chat speak up and say that they had been having odd dreams too, but I hold a lot of that stuff, with a grain of salt, because there are a number of individuals, and he doesn't discourage it. There are a number of individuals that idolize him, which he is supposed to be out front and discouraging them all the time. Not allowed to do that. That's causing people to stumble. And so many people have mentioned that, they were having them. And again, I'm going to hold that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying they don't. Not calling them liars or anything like that. Not whatsoever. But I'd be willing to bet at least half of them probably just said it to say it, to be part of something. Because unfortunately, that's the crowd he's largely attracted at this point. It's what it is. I'm not going to back away from calling it how it is. Not now, not ever. But I have been having, on a regular basis, almost nightly, I've been having dreams. Now, not all of them are SHTF-related type of dreams. Some of the dreams are a little personal. Other dreams, like I had one this morning. It wasn't personal, obviously. I wouldn't be talking about it. But I had one this morning, in that I was flying in an ultralight with somebody. And, first off, it was a little bit odd because I don't just hop in an aircraft with anybody. That's not going to happen. Number two, I didn't have any fear. And that's how I know it really was off base, because the guy was flying like a maniac. And I didn't have any fear. And when I have flown ultralights, I was always pretty gentle on the stick. I didn't whip around too much. I didn't bank around too much because I don't really care for doing that. I don't like heights, for folks that don't know. I won't go on top of my roof, this little bitty small one-story roof. Nope, ain't happening. Not getting up there. But I will strap myself into an ultralight, depending on the ultralight. Not any ultralight. I'm not a real big fan of strut-braced, or, strut wing planes. I kind of like the Quicksilvers that's got 5 billion cables that are on the wings. Because, I can sit there and count the cables as they snap. That's my big fear. My big fear is I'm going to lose a wing. I just, again, it's a fear, which isn't necessarily, it's a phobia, I should say, which isn't necessarily based on anything, But I had no fear. And this guy was flying around like a crazy man. Now, here's something about my dreams that I have learned. If I cannot recognize the place, then I can pretty well write the dream off. That's just something that I've picked up throughout my life. However, if the people and places are real and I can identify them, I can guarantee you at some point I am going to have a deja vu moment. Guaranteed. And so I've been having dreams nightly. Again, not all of them are kind of SHTF related, but I have to say that I am most certainly having SHTF related dreams, and it's on a regular basis. So I just want to put that out there, and I'm not asking anybody to confirm whether or not, because I'm not going to do that. Am I curious? Abso-freaking-lutely I am. But I am not going to try to, in any way remotely, try to cause anybody to stumble. Not going to happen. And I wanted to bring that up. I feel like it's important. I feel like there is something to it. I wouldn't have mentioned it if I didn't feel that way. And so, take it for what you will. Okay, aside from that, I do have one bit of, for me it's bothersome information to share. It bothers me, that's for sure. There's been a website that I have absolutely loved to get information from, because it was always spot on, and it always did a really good job of covering what was going on, especially involving the conflicts. And you know that I've been following a website called War News 24/7. Apparently, that is going to be no longer. Today, and of course I've got that app I've mentioned before. I forget the name off the top of my head, but I got an app that I enter a website in there, and it will tell me anytime that there's changes on that website, because they don't have any type of notification thing or anything like that. So I think it's like every 15 minutes it'll go and it'll check the site, and if there's changes, it'll send me a notification. And so this is what I came across today. War News 24/7, the end of an era is always the beginning of a new. And very short and sweet, War News 24/7, with a sense of responsibility to its thousands of readers, announces that it is terminating its operation. New professional activities had made it impossible for some time now to provide continuous, complete, and systematic information from the battlefields in Ukraine and the Middle East. Thank you very much for the dozens of emails and messages. And I didn't know where... well, that's sending something an email. But I didn't know where to because I was concerned. I was truly concerned. I'd seen him go like, him or her, I don't know, go like, 3-4 days or something like that. Sometimes maybe even a little longer without any kind of an update. And we were going on 2 weeks. And so I was getting pretty concerned about it, because of the nature of the site. That is what was concerning me, because, things happen to people that tell the truth. It is what it is. And that was a place that you could go and you could be very confident that you were getting the straight information. Yeah, trying to get the notification off my watch. Sports. So anyway, I don't have really any other to talk about. I've got this one notch too tight. Okay, my watch. I don't have really anything else to mention. I figured we'd jump right on into the news or the nose. I've got a few things to add to what's going on, obviously, from the thumbnail. So, let me have another sip of lemonade here. I love lemonade. Probably one of my favorite things to drink. Lemonade, orange juice, and a really good day is, like Dole's pineapple banana orange juice. Oh my goodness. That's probably my very favorite thing to drink. So anyway. UK has world's highest rate of acid attacks, says data. Let me read the article here and then I've got more goodies for you. Says a chemical substance attack on a woman and her 2 young children in southwest London last week has highlighted a rising trend of serious assaults involving corrosive substances in the UK over the past few years, data has shown. A manhunt is underway for suspected attacker Abdul Azidi, 35, following the incident in Clapham last Wednesday, which injured a total of 12 people. A woman, 31, and her 2 young daughters, aged 8 and 3, remain in the hospital, with the mother's injuries described as life-changing. Data from the UK-based charity Acid Survivors Trust International, a non-profit that seeks to highlight such incidents globally, has shown that the United Kingdom has the largest number of recorded acid attacks in the world. On Sunday, London police issued new information about the alkaline substance used in the assault on the mother and children, saying laboratory tests revealed it to be either liquid sodium hydroxide or liquid sodium carbonate, chemicals easily purchased online or in specialist hardware stores, and that is a very nasty caustic chemical. In 2022, ASTI registered 710 cases of assaults with a corrosive substance, a 69% increase on the 421 cases the year prior. So, let's think about this here. 2022, 710 cases. That is almost an average of 2 a day. Almost an average of 2 a day. That is nuts. The prior year, which would be 2021, there was 421 cases, which is north of 1 a day. I mean, that's insane. Acid attacks peaked in 2017, ASTI data shows, with a total of 941 cases. That's incredible. Data for 2023 has not yet been published, though the National Health Service has said it received a total of 82 hospital admissions between 2022 and 2023 for injuries sustained from a corrosive chemical. Given its nature, the effects of an acid attack prompt instant and excruciating pain, and injuries cause life-changing disabilities, ASTI said. Attacks involving chemicals have been traditionally linked to UK gang violence, ASTI notes, but its most recent data from 2022 reflected that women are now being targeted more than men. This signals a rise in violence against women and girls, ASTI said on its website. The UK strengthened its laws governing dangerous chemicals in 2022, adding measures of the Offensive Weapons Act of 2019 to impose restrictions on the purchase of such substances Possession of a dangerous chemical in a public area carries a prison sentence of up to 4 years under the legislation, which is what that Offensive Weapons Act of 2019 calls for, is a 4 year. It was already a serious crime under the UK Offences Against the Person Act of 1861 to use a corrosive substance to inflict bodily harm. The offence can lead to a maximum sentence of life imprisonment in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So, to me, it's plain as day, and it's obvious why this is going on. I mean, I can't tell you the motivation behind why people are attacking other people. I can't, I don't know that. I can't tell you that. But why they are using that as a weapon of choice, if you will, to me is obvious as all get out. Because that's all they've got. I mean, it's one thing if you're carrying a bottle. You could put a lot of these substances in a soda bottle and walk around with that soda bottle, because most of those substances aren't going to eat through a soda bottle. I can't think off the top of my head. I do know the different plastics. Is that HDPE? I think that's HDPE, a soda bottle. Most of your acids aren't going to eat through that, and you'd be okay to carry it in a soda bottle. Well, how do you know whether or not somebody's got a Mountain Dew or a bottle of acid? Well, you don't. So, when it comes to concealment, not necessarily keeping it from public's eye, but making it look just like anybody else, it's pretty easy to do. Now, in the UK, the laws are crazy. And there was even an article back from, this article here, it's from 2017, and this really nails it right on the head. London criminals can't get guns, so they're using acid. But it gets worse than that. Now, this was, again, the article was in 2017. However, they were using figures from 2016. That was a year before. 2017 was their height, if you recall this article here, in which they had 941 cases in 2017. So 2016, according to this, it says 454 attacks in 2016. In 2015, 261. So this is an epidemic that is certainly ramping up. Of course, obviously 2017 being the worst. It died down a little bit, it seemed like, but it's really picking back up. Now, if you think the gun laws are one thing in the UK, they're crazy. No doubt about that. But the knife laws are just as crazy as well. And I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to talk about that just so that people understand what happens when you restrict things like that. People will resort to whatever they can get their hands on. And unfortunately, and I know this is making a weird argument, but unfortunately, in most cases, as you keep restricting and banning things, the methods used will often get worse and worse, meaning not quite as deadly, meaning much more chance that people are just going to be maimed, not necessarily killed. And I know it's a weird argument, but if it were me, I think I'd rather be shot than have a bunch of acid thrown on me. I'm just saying. I mean, it just, to me, it's common sense. But let's take a look at this, because this is really, really nuts. Right here, I've got the gov.uk website up. And this is the page on selling, buying, and carrying knives and weapons. Hang on, I'm loving my lemonade. I got a little bit more, I think. I make it up in my my Stanley, and no, this ain't no 200 and something. No, this is just a cheap original style Stanley. Well, somewhat original style. They're not exactly the way they used to be. Yum, yum. Now I got my backup tea there waiting for me. And my sour gummy worms e-cig is now charged up. Fun, fun. Okay, and so let's get started a little bit on these knife restrictions. First of all, it says the maximum penalty for an adult carrying a knife or weapon illegally is either 4 years in prison, an unlimited fine, or both. You'll get a prison sentence if you're convicted of carrying a knife or weapon illegally more than once. It's crazy. Especially considering what it is that's considered illegal. We're going to get to that. It's illegal to use any knife or weapon in a threatening way. Well, that should be a given. Said it's also illegal to carry most knives or any weapons in public without a quote-unquote good reason. Sell most knives or any weapons to anyone under the age of 18. The exception of these two rules are folding pocket knives that A, have a cutting edge no longer than 3 inches, and B, are not lock knives. They do not have a button, spring, or catch that you have to use to fold the knife. So basically, you're talking about like a Swiss Army knife, okay? Little pen knife, just little bitty knives. I'm not going to say useless, because it's a cutting tool. It's absolutely useful. But just to give you an example, my lock blade, bring it back up here. My lock blade right here, my EDC lock blade that I carry all the time, you can't have it in the UK for 2 reasons. For 2 reasons. Number 1, it's got a catch. It is a lock blade. It's got a catch. Well, the other reason is because if you look at the blade length, this is this knife here. I love this knife. I'll tell you what, $27. This thing is freaking awesome. Right now, 10% coupon off. I love this knife. I really do. It's a great carry knife. And if we look at it on the specs, the blade length is right here, 3.35. Oh, sorry. The blade length is 3.35 inches. So it's 0.35 inches too long, and that's if it didn't lock. But it locks, so that makes it illegal, according to them. Now, the other knife I carry is also a no-no. This is a knife from BC Blades. This is his dinner skinner. And while the cutting edge is technically less than 3 inches, I believe I measured it earlier, because I didn't know. So the cutting edge is just right at about, well, just shy of 2 3/4. Well, no, I guess it's right about there, 2 3/4 inches. So 2 3/4 inches for the straight blade that I carry. Again, this is one of my EDC knives. So even that would not be allowed. Right here, I have my BC Blades. I think this is now called his 4-finger neck knife. He's got a 3-finger neck knife and a 4-finger neck knife. This would be the 4-finger neck knife. And although the blade length is shorter than 3 inches, clearly, couldn't carry it. Why? Because the blade don't fold. It's not a folding knife. So I couldn't even carry this neck knife in the UK. It would be illegal. That's how ridiculous that their laws are. That's pretty ridiculous. Now, make sure all my knives are back. I'm checking all the time, making sure I've got my Leatherman, my straight blade, my folder, and then show you guys this stuff all the time. This is a tank of Zippo fuel, small tank of Zippo fuel. I have an extra flint. I carry a pair of nail clippers. I have a Zippo tool for taking loose the screw for replacing the flint on a Zippo lighter. And then this is a Maritac Peanut XL black anodized aluminum lighter. My EDC. Well, almost. And then what I don't have on me right now that's going back on me right now are my keys, in which I carry a ferro rod and a striker on my keys. My EDC. Do a whole lot with that stuff. And then if anybody's wondering, the Leatherman I carry is the Super Tool 300, and there are different versions of the Super Tool 300. Couldn't tell you off the top of my head which one I've got. It's not the lineman's one, I can tell you that. That's my EDC. And all of it is illegal. Well, I think the UK would let me have the nail clippers. I think they might let me have the nail clippers, as long as I didn't hold them out in a threatening manner. But I wanted to show you that, just so you have an idea of how ridiculous their laws are. Now, there is one caveat, well, and it's under the good reasons for carrying a knife or weapon in public. And those 3 reasons are for your work, for religious reasons, such as a kirpan that some Sikhs carry. And so I brought up an example of a kirpan, and this is what a kirpan is. So if you are Sikh, you are allowed to carry this. So I find that, it doesn't bother me in the least. In fact, I love Sikh people. They're awesome individuals. But I find that pretty crazy that they don't restrict that. Oh yeah, I guarantee you your stiletto and switchblade are no-nos. What's up, Leol? Yeah, I guarantee you they'll get their titties all up in a bunch with you having those. In the state of Illinois, in order to carry that stiletto or that switchblade, you actually have to have a FOID card, a firearm owner's identification card, in order to carry that stiletto or a switchblade. So, kind of crazy, huh? But also, as well as a part of any national costume, and that don't mean like you're dressing up like the clown from It. That means that that means that you're a police officer or whatever they call them over there. Pretty much if you're butterfly knives. Oh yeah, I love butterfly knives. I haven't had one in quite a while. I'd love to have another one. Butterflies, I believe, are illegal to carry without a FOID card in the state of Illinois. And if I could spell it without that finger in it. In Illinois, oh, yeah, you're with me. In Illinois, it is legal to own and carry a butterfly knife. I thought you had to have a Ford card. In Chicago, it is illegal to carry a concealed knife with a blade longer than 2.5 inches. Concealed carry of a double-edged knife is prohibited. Automatic switchblade and gravity knives are prohibited. So, let's see. I used to always carry. I had a knife that was called Fang, and it was essentially like a little bitty dagger. And I used to carry it on my wrist all the time, and nobody were the wiser. But I love that thing. I'd like to get another one. That thing was so awesome because it sits on your wrist, and all you have to do is do one of these numbers. You know, with your arm pointing down, do one of those numbers, and it would fall right into your hand. Oh, man, it was an awesome, awesome, awesome knife. Haven't had that for a long time, though. I want to get me another one. Yeah, I love a butterfly knife, though. I'm actually pretty damn good with a butterfly knife. I thought it was illegal to carry them in the state of Illinois, though. I don't know if maybe that's changed or what. I don't know. But apparently, at this point in time, it's legal. But I wanted to kind of go over that because it's crazy. And, you know, here it's illegal. It says it's illegal to possess it, bring it into the UK, sell or hire it out. Okay, don't hire out your knife to anybody. Or to lend or give it to someone. Can't do that. It's crazy. And then it goes through different types of knives and weapons that are not allowed, including a blowpipe or a blowgun. Right? So Hunter Biden, stay away from you, because you got to stay away from blow stuff, man. So don't be doing no blow, Hunter, in the UK. It's illegal. But even foot claw, hand claw, kubatons, knuckle dusters, kasaris, or kasarigama, or kaioketsu shog, push dagger, which, by the way, oh wait, no, that wasn't a push. The Fang wasn't a push dagger. Shuriken, right? For my Street Fighter friends. Or wait, what's that? Yeah, Shuriken. Stealth knife, sword stick, right? Can I have a sword stick? Telescopic truncheon, because everybody carries those. Let's see. Zombie knife. You cannot have a zombie knife. So Walking Dead will not be filmed in the UK. Actually, too late. There already has been one. But yeah, and I have no idea though if. Well, once again, I don't have the thing up, and I have it upside down. I don't know if that would be legal there. I'm pretty sure that probably wouldn't be legal to carry in the UK. I'm just saying, right? Might get a little upset at that. Maybe. But, I don't think I can carry this here, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I can't carry this around outside. But, stop me. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, kind of crazy. And it kind of really gives you a good idea of why things like acid attacks are picking up like that over in the UK. Because, hell, man, people can't even carry a lock blade knife of any kind. I mean, that's some crazy stuff. But anyway, shift gears, have another little discussion about gold, right? I asked this, and I don't expect him to answer back because, you know, he won't talk to anybody that's got any brains. But Pinball, hey, when he puts out good stuff, I'll say it. When he's being a dumbass, I'll say it. And I know this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way, but if your plan is to buy your gold and being prosperous after SHTF, and that's a pretty dumb plan. We could talk about the Bible, and I know the Bible talks about how you should have precious metals, but it also talks about how you shouldn't. But it's kind of funny how people pick and choose what scripture when. And the whole important part about the Bible is that you read the whole thing and understand the discernment behind which side of the fence you should be on at the time. That's key. So why not? Why wouldn't you want to have gold? And I do specifically gold, right? Well, let me go grab that link real quick like, and I will show you, because it is not a real good idea to have gold. Oops. Wait a minute. Video is not publicly available. Huh. Interesting. I wonder why Glenn took that video down. Glenn Beck had a video out earlier where he was talking about a coming documentary. And that documentary was going to have included in it proof that people were being duped on both sides of the border issue. So, and that video's gone, because I shared it out, and it is gone. So, moving on, let me, I wished I would have gotten a copy of that now. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Leo, yes. The Bible does say gold will be worthless at some point. And what's got me talking about this isn't Pinbrain. It's this article here. But before we go to this article, I want to explain to you why it's not a good idea to buy gold so you can become, I don't know, you're working or what for your area, right? Not a good idea. Why? Well, because of Executive Order 6102, which may not be an issue at this moment, but I would be willing to bet anything it will once again, probably not exactly Executive Order 6102, but it will be another order that gets put into place. What is Executive Order 6102? I've talked about this before. Executive Order 6102 is an executive order signed on April 5th, 1933 by U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates within the continental United States. Now, when they say hoarding, they mean have any. It says the executive order was made under the authority of Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917. Let me repeat that. Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917. How would you like to be charged with terrorism charges because you own gold? That's not a far stretch. Let's see, as amended by the Emergency Banking Act in March of 1933. The limitation on gold ownership in the United States was repealed after President Gerald Ford signed a bill legalizing private ownership of gold coins, bars, and certificates by an act of Congress codified in Pub 93-373. Now listen to this, which went into effect December 31st, 1974. You notice anything funny there? I do. For 41 years, if you were caught having gold, you could be charged under the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, which you could probably closely relate to the even much worse terrorism charges of today, where you don't have to be afforded any of your rights like an attorney, a phone call, nothing, not even a breath. You're not even afforded the right to breathe under terrorism laws. You really aren't, to be honest. But it says at the time this policy faced criticism for those who asserted it was completely immoral and a flagrant violation of the solemn promises made in the Gold Standard Act of 1900 and promises made to purchasers of Liberty and Victory loans during the World War I. The critics also claimed this executive order would lead to an inflation of supply of credit and currency, which would cause a fraudulent economic boom, which would inevitably bust and result in a depression. So, obviously, even if you can own gold, doesn't matter, because you could own gold before the depression, you still had a depression. Same as now. I don't think a whole lot of people would argue that we're as close to a depression as we're going to get without actually being full bore in one. And I don't think owning gold is going to help you out a whole lot. I'm just saying. I know it's something that a lot of individuals really want to feel warm and fuzzy about, but the truth of the matter is, in the blink of an eye, you can have your presidential dictator sign a piece of paper, and guess what? You no longer can own gold. And let me tell you something about gold. Gold only has a particular value. What do I mean by that? Well, if it's illegal to buy or sell it, that gold's not worth a whole lot. Because you're not going to have anybody that's, you're unlikely, much more unlikely to have somebody that's going to want to take that chance and buy or sell that gold. So it pretty much becomes worthless. Also, the last time I checked, gold doesn't have a whole lot of calories, and it's not good with protein, sugars, carbohydrates, or anything like that. Eat it if you want. I mean, we drank a little bit of Goldschlager in high school, but it didn't really bring any kind of inherent value into our lives. So anyway, it was fun, but no inherent value. So I would warn about the whole gold thing. I really would. Because, even as I mentioned, it's in the Bible. That's going to be worthless. Now, if there's any book I trust, it's the Bible. And I can see logic behind gold not having any value. It is what it is. It is what it is. If there's no demand for something, it don't matter what it is, it has no value. So I wanted to bring that up before we get into talking about what's going on in China. And I find this report interesting, and what I find most interesting about this report is the propaganda that we're supposed to believe when it comes about China, right? I mean, you've heard all the stories about how they've got nets, and they might absolutely in some factories might have suicide nets around them. I don't know, I haven't been there. But I do find a lot of interesting things that contrast what we are told China is about. For one, geez, have you seen how gorgeous some of the places are in China? Oh my goodness. Like they have these, I guess it'd be kind of similar to parks and stuff, but oh my goodness, are they absolutely gorgeous. There are plenty of people there that get involved in business and start a business, and I mean, they do well. I mean, think about it. It's China. The United States buys a lot of crap from China. The government's not making all that crap. Individuals are starting companies and making that crap. So you have to be careful about the propaganda that you consume. I I would also believe that if China was that, and I'm not making an argument for China, I'm not doing that, but if China was that damn bad, they wouldn't let their people own gold. And, well, that's what the story is about that we're going to talk about. Because Chinese investors and households, you hear that? Households, you don't have to be some special licensed agent to buy gold, were major gold consumers in 2023 amid strong global demand for the safe haven metal, the World Gold Council's quarterly report has shown. According to the publication, Chinese investment demand for gold, spanning bars and coins, jumped 28% last year to 280 tons. Jewelry consumption was also up 10% to 630 tons overall. Gold purchases reached nearly 960 tons in 2023. China was key to a lot of what was happening last year, said Louise Street, senior market analyst at the WGC. When you look at the consumer sector, China is not the price-setting factor, but is providing a floor. The world's second biggest consumer, India, saw total gold purchases slide to 748 tons in 2023. It was followed by the U.S., 249 tons, which is quite a big difference, Turkey, 201.6 tons, and Iran, 71.8 tons. The top 10 also included Russia, Germany, Egypt, Vietnam, and Saudi Arabia. I just one, right? Give me just, like, now, though. Now. Give me just, like, 1 ton of gold, and I'm straight. I only need one of those. So, China, if you've got an extra ton, I might learn a few Mandarin words or something, but that'd be about the extent of it. And I probably aren't going to say them right. But, on a side note, I've actually had conversations with people that, both people that are from China, that's where they're from, and I actually know somebody that moved to China. And I have to say this, every single person that I've talked to that is either from China or the one individual that I know personally that had moved to China says what the United States, what the citizens here are told about China is mostly bull. So, and I can guarantee you the guy that I know that moved there wouldn't be just saying that. Why did he move there? Well, I'm not going to get into super big detail, but he's into alternative energy. And he no longer felt safe. He was in Colorado. That's as close as I'll get to where his location was. He didn't feel safe. And he had good reason not to feel safe. He had multiple incidents happen. And that's why he moved to China. That was one of the two reasons. The other reason is having access to the materials that he needed to continue his work. And incredible work it is. So, I mean, just mind-blowing stuff. He's an incredible man through and through. And when, I'll say this, because I even kind of argued with him about this a little bit. When the whole down with the sickness thing, and the jabby jab and all that stuff, well, the down with the sickness part, in the very beginning, since he is over there, I had asked him about it. And he said that the United States was absolutely blowing it out of proportion. He said that from day one. And I'm like, but dude, because we were getting all these videos and all that stuff coming in. I'm like, dude. And he's like, nah. Just saying. Okay, let me have another sip of tea here. I'm about out. I've got my backup, not tea, lemonade, and I've got my backup tea there. I'll make me up after the show. I'll make me up another 1.1 quarts of lemonade for tomorrow. in my non-$200 lame Stanley thermos. People are freaking idiots, I'll tell you that. Okay. Oh, I can play the springs, by the way, on my microphone. I know, annoying. I'll quit. For a minute. Yeah, I'd probably upset somebody else, too. We'll hear a huff momentarily. So, let's move on to Zelensky. Why not? We better talk about him now, because I still share the same thought that there's going to be a coup coming soon. Zelensky to fire more top military brass, says media. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is reportedly considering letting go not only of Armed Forces Commander-in-Chief Valery Zaluzhny, but also the Chief of General Staff, according to the news outlet Ukrainskaya Pravda, or something. The report comes after Zelensky admitted last week that he intends to fire the top commander of the Ukrainian armed forces. The two have had a major falling out following Kiev's failed summer counteroffensive. Zaluzhny has described the battlefield situation as a stalemate, while Zelensky has vehemently rejected this assessment, especially in light of waning support from Kiev's Western backers. In an interview with Italy's Rai TG1 news channel on Sunday, Zelensky announced that he is planning a serious overhaul of the country's leadership, noting that these changes will not be about a single person. He did not, however, list any specific name. Citing sources within the Ukrainian government, Ukrainskaya Pravda reported that Monday that Zaluzhny may indeed not be the only one getting canned amid Zelensky's purge, and suggested that Sergei Shaptala, who currently serves as the Chief of General Staff, will also be leaving his position as early as this week. So, again, I really do heavily suspect that there is going to be a coup in Ukraine. And I think that once that coup is initiated, I think you're going to see all that calm down and won't be much of a concern anymore. Middle East, I really do think that that's probably going to simmer down, especially in light of what's going on. We'll see. The Middle East is a powder keg, and it's always a powder keg. Nothing really changes that. But I'm not seeing... There are escalations in some senses, but in other senses, not so much. So we'll just keep an eye on that. I know you don't hear a whole lot anymore about what's going on between Israel and Hamas. And I don't believe it's because nothing is. I believe that you're just not hearing about it. So... let's see, got a notification up there. Let me get that put out. Okay. U.S. threatens peace in the Middle East, says Russia. Which goes against what I was just saying. But, well, we threaten peace like everywhere on the planet. Washington is fanning the flames of conflicts in the Middle East by conducting unlawful strikes in Iraq, Syria, and Yemen, Russian permanent representative to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, has said. Russia has requested an urgent session of the UN Security Council after the U.S. carried out airstrikes in Syria and Iraq in response to a drone attack on an American military outpost in Jordan. The bombings have once again demonstrated the aggressive nature of the U.S. policy in the Middle East and Washington's complete disregard for the norms of international law, Nebenzia said during a UNSC meeting in New York on Monday. The Russian diplomat argued that the U.S. is pouring gasoline on the fire by conducting airstrikes that pose a direct threat to international peace and security and undermine the central role of the UN. He reiterated that the U.S. bases in Syria are illegal because American military presence has not been authorized by Damascus. And that's just the thing. And now Iraq is telling us, get out. And that's pretty much what's going to want. I have a feeling that before all is said and done with, that the U.S. is going to be absolutely kicked out of the entire area. And it probably won't be a good idea for U.S. to be there, because I have a feeling that there is going to be a concerted effort to make sure we stay out of there. So just my opinion, my thoughts. I'd eliminate that's a crime. T. Alright. Trump doubles down on mass deportation plans. And I really wish that Glenn Beck video didn't go bye-bye. That sucks. I don't know what's up with that. I have no idea what's up with that. But that sucks. It didn't say that, like, it violated YouTube's terms or anything like that. So he didn't get got by YouTube. But apparently, for whatever reason, he decided to take it down. I'm bringing up his channel right now. Wait a minute, is this the video? I can't remember for sure. Hang on, let me go back to my posts and look here. Come on. Oh, no, it's there. Why it wasn't showing up, I have no idea, but it's there. So the Glenn Beck video is there. You can go in our community feed, and I posted a link, or go to Glenn Beck's YouTube channel. It's titled, Don't Be Fooled, What's Really in the Senate's New Border Bill, or whatever. And just like I've been saying the entire time, people have been being duped about this whole immigration thing. Not saying that there's not anything going on, but people are being duped as to who and how many, and they're being duped as to what is being done about it, even by the right side. It is what it is. Anyway, so Trump claims that he's going to double down on it. Trump claims that there's going to be mass deportations and stuff like that. But I also remember back pre-2016, this whole big locker up thing. You remember that? I remember that. Seems like it might have won him an election. And I'll say it again, because I'm sorry, I am not going to back away from this stuff. But the day of inauguration, remember when he pumped everybody up and saying that they're not coming after me, they're coming after you, I'm just in the way, or whatever? Yeah. That same day, that same speech, he also said that, we're not going to pursue Hillary. We're just going to let that go. How many votes did that get him? An incredible amount of votes. And he walked away from it like he never said it. It's ridiculous. And he's going to do the same thing again. You don't even get allowed on that stage unless you're playing their game. Don't even get close to that stage. You know, I liked Ramaswamy. I did. But he also had ties with the pharmaceutical industries. I couldn't sit here and tell you, I definitely wouldn't put my life on the line to say that he was a good choice, that he wasn't bought and paid for. I do not think it's possible at this point in time to get on that stage unless you've sold out. I don't think you'll get even close. Just saying. I've got one more article for you, and then we'll read some headlines. Tucker Carlson coy on rumored Putin interview. I have a feeling that he did an interview. I also have a feeling that I can't wait to see it. This here says U.S. political commentator Tucker Carlson, who is currently in Moscow, has refused to confirm or deny that he plans to interview President Vladimir Putin, merely answering the question with, "We'll see." The former Fox News host, who now has a show on X, was approached by a fan at a Russian hotel. The newspaper Ivestia reported on Monday, publishing a video of the short encounter. The two exchanged pleasantries, with Carlson saying it was his first visit to Russia. By the way, I seen that, and he probably smiled more, I think, talking to that person than what I see him smile when he's doing interviews. That dude is kind of an intimidating looking dude when he's doing interviews, the way, and it's just, he's got resting bitch face, if you will. And he does. He has this kind of intimidating look, like he's drilling through you with his eyeballs or something. And it's kind. I love the guy. I out of all the media, that you could even say mainstream, what have you, that's my guy. And that's really about the only guy that I trust. It really is. I do. I have a lot of trust for Tucker Carlson. But he's just got that look, It's like he's drilling through his interviewees. Anyway, it says, I wanted to talk to people and walk around and see how it was doing. And it was doing very well, he said, giving his impressions of the country. Images of Carlson in Moscow first appeared online last Saturday, sparking speculation about his trip. The TV personality made no secret of his wish to interview the Russian leader and claimed that his back-channel efforts to organize such a meeting a few years ago made him the target of U.S. surveillance. Yeah, that was a thing. So anyway, he's there. I don't know if he's there like right this moment, but at least he was there. And well, we'll see if he's had a little bit of time with Putin. I suspect he has. Doesn't bother me none. I think it's great. I can't wait to see the interview. Cannot wait to see the interview. And not that I'm on Russia's side. No, I'm on the side of truth. And to get truth, you have to let everybody speak. You have to set everybody down at the table and listen to everybody speak. It's the only way you get to the truth. Any time that anybody wants to conceal somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's words, somebody else's opinion, somebody else's side, then you really need to look at that person that's trying to conceal that, because they're trying to pull one over on you. That's the first thing, that probably the biggest part of common sense that I learned. People that are not willing to sit down at the table together to have a discussion, there's a reason why. It's not that, I don't like them. No, it's because you'll probably be told on. So that's the first thing I do. When people kind of try to pull that bullshit with me, that's the first thing that I do. I set everybody down at the damn table and say, let's do this. Plain and simple. I ain't going to play games with nobody. I wonder why it is I'm not well liked. Oh, that's right. I know how to solve problems. Imagine that. So anyway, that's a true story, by the way. People hate it. People truly hate it if you're real and if you get to the bottom of things. I am not one, like a friend of mine can't come to me and give me some big old story about it. No, because the first thing I'm going to do is ask about the other side. Not that I don't like my friend. It's actually quite the opposite. Helping them isn't just going along with their bullshit. I know that's what most people do today because they say that's helping them. It's not. It is not. If you want to help a friend, you're honest with them. Plain and simple. If you're not honest with each other, quit bullshitting people. You're not friends. You're just echo chamber partners. That's it. That's it. And that doesn't make a good friendship. Definitely not a strong one. Anyway, got some headlines here. I covered that one. Thousands of Canadian businesses could go bust, says a report. New Northern Irish leader predicts vote on leaving the UK. UK, is it? I don't know. Trump doubles down on mass I covered that, actually. German fears grow that NATO won't survive Trump, says New York Times. Explosives sent from Ukraine for terrorist attacks in Russia seized. EU scouring for new Russia sanctions targets, says media. A Russian internet giant completes $5 billion divorce. Kremlin hails repatriation of tech giant. UK has world's highest rate. I covered that. Sorry. Germany's financial woes could delay the EU-Ukraine bill, or aid, says Financial Times. Ex-Russian MP accused of treason. Russian drone production soaring, says Deputy PM. Russia should get security guarantees, says ex-PM of Italy. Government reshuffle in Russian ally. Russia puts ex-Ukrainian army transgender spokesperson on terrorist list. Kremlin warns West against deeply illegal asset seizure. Biden's LNG ban is dangerous for industry's future, says energy bosses. Biden is dangerous for future. Period. That's all you got to say. Ukrainian official tries to justify the killing of 28 civilians in Russian bakery. Ukrainian refugees in Germany aren't working, says Bild. Russia's FSB foils Ukrainian terrorist plot against senior official. Zelensky covered that. On the brink of disaster, Israel threatens Lebanon with war. What could go wrong? It was kind of like one of those feature/explainer kind of article things. Trump facing long prison sentence, says an attorney. I thought that was an interesting headline. Do I believe that? No, I don't. Britain's King Charles diagnosed with cancer. Zelensky jeopardizing Ukraine's interests, says Kiev mayor. Moscow slams provocative and unacceptable remarks by Israeli envoy. U.S. threatens peace in the Middle East, says Russia. World's coolest dictator wins re-election. UN to probe Palestinian Refugee Agency for neutrality. And that is it. That is it. So, yeah. I am going to run out the door and light my hair on fire, because why not? No, I'm kidding. I am going to take my happy butt to bed. I am tired. I am beyond tired. I wasn't feeling too hot earlier. Well, actually, that's untrue. I was feeling very hot earlier. I kept getting kind of like, well, I guess you could call it something similar to heat flashes or whatnot. And, not that I'm saying it was heat flashes. I've got a dangly. But no, I wasn't feeling good at all, man. Not good at all. And I suspected it was my teeth / lack thereof. For multiple reasons. My mouth this morning was very swollen and painful. And it's feeling a little bit better now. But, man, it felt like I chewed on glass or something. It really hurt like hell. And it was the whole mouth. And it was swollen. And it was... So I'm pretty positive that I have / had infection. I'm sure I still have, but it's better now. It feels better now. Infection going on there. And yes, I know all the dangers with that. No, I can't do a damn thing about it. Unfortunately, here in the great United States of America, the land of opportunity, all the money that you pay in for insurance, health insurance, all your entire damn life doesn't mean a thing if you don't have it at the time you need it. God bless USA. Yeah. Sarcasm. Heavy sarcasm. This nation needs a big change. Needs a big shakeup. Because it's ridiculous. You know who can go get medical, though? Illegal immigrants. Do you know who can get free medical? Oh, if I wanted to be a chick, you better believe they would have me on a first gurney into the highway hospital. They would be ready to give me the sex change, all the treatments I needed, and everything else. But the fact that my teeth are all rotted out and will very likely at some point cause an infection that will kill me, yeah, too bad. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. That's why it really pisses me off when people talk about how great this country is. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. At one time, we were a great nation. We're a damn far away from that now. That's just the truth. Anyway, I will hopefully see you all tomorrow. God willing, I will. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shalom.